incredibly important airport security is. All these people that have post-security access to planes and other things, there's a lot of them at a lot of airports, and keeping your finger on who they are and what their intent might be.
You would think post 9/11 and post all of the other threats we've had over the last decade or so that there would not be more checks. And the idea that someone could just get in the cockpit and fly the plane, take it off on his own.
You would think that, though, Ed, but in Minneapolis, where they've had a lot of these problems with the Somali refugees going to fight with ISIS, there was a 90% failure rate on the security screeners in some of these places. I mean, we don't have our arms around it.
I see people on social media as well overnight saying, I can't bring more than 3 ounces of toothpaste through TSA without getting, serious problems. And somehow this guy can just get into the cockpit.
You got to remember.
Obviously, he had more access. I get it. But he took advantage of that access in a way where I can't get my arms around how there were not more checks. I get that people have certain badges, they have certain levels of access, but there needs to be other layers.
He must have known the protocols and understood. You follow it, you watch it enough that you build out an opportunity.
It's a Friday night, you take advantage of a situation.
Sure. Your security guard's a buddy of yours because you've seen, we don't know what happened, but a couple of things happen and pretty soon he's at the controls.
Yeah, it's not just about his life. A plane is a missile, right? You get behind that cockpit and anything could happen. It's so hard today with mental illness or knowing all of your employees and what they're dealing with. Oftentimes behind closed doors tells a different story, and I'm sure the company, maybe they didn't know he was been struggling for this past year or what.
For the U.S. military to scramble not just one but 2 F-15s, they were quite concerned, obviously, about the people all around the Seattle area because this plane could have landed anywhere.
Yeah, all right, so send us your thoughts on this morning. But there's a lot going on the home front as well. And as we often hear from the president and his attorney general, the area that they do come together on, because they're not always on the same page on everything, is on immigration, doubling down on the border and against sanctuary cities. Here was General Jeff Sessions yesterday in Houston.
Whatever we would talk on immigration, whatever our views, all of us should agree on 2 goals. We need to end illegal immigration and to end illegal immigration crime. We cannot accept the fact that gangs like MS-13, the Latin Kings, many of whose members entered the country unlawfully, are terrorizing American communities from Los Angeles to Boston. If we want to reduce violent crime, then we have to get serious about illegal immigrant crime. If we're going to get serious about illegal immigration, we can't tolerate sanctuary cities.
Think about all the talk on Capitol Hill. It's an election year. We're going to deal with DACA. We're going to finally enforce the immigration laws. And it's really the administration on its own here because Congress has done nothing.
Yes. And talk about the contrast.
Both parties.
Absolutely, but the left has also been rhetorically dedicated, at the very least, unfortunately, many people, to talking about abolishing ICE and keeping those borders open, and really denigrating the policies that this administration has tried to pursue around zero tolerance.
And denigrating law enforcement agencies.
And denigrating the credibility of law enforcement at the same time. So this administration is continuing to raise that conversation, stay focused on sanctuary cities, because when you look at the polling, people may, have different views of immigration and illegal immigration, but when it comes to criminals and sanctuary cities, there's a lot of support for ending that policy.
You mentioned what's going on the Hill and the midterms that are right around the corner.
Nothing.
Right. You notice every time you read one of President Trump's tweets endorsing a candidate, he talks about the border. He talks about how tough they are on crime. Every single candidate that he's endorsed, because, Ed, to your point, I think he realizes he needs more help there. Right. If he wants to get things passed that he's passionate about, that he's been campaigning on, you need people that are in office that are fighting on his behalf as well. You can imagine if it goes over to the Democratic side, how challenging that. Nothing's going to get done for the next 2 years.
Well, one of the roadblocks for the president's agenda has been Nancy Pelosi. Chuck Schumer over in the Senate, but Nancy Pelosi, but an open question about whether or not, if Democrats take back the House of Representatives, will she be Speaker of the House? And the president sort of wading into that yesterday mischievously with this tweet, a message to Democrats. He said, please do not distance yourselves from Nancy Pelosi. She is a wonderful person whose ideas and policies may be bad, but who should definitely be given a 4th chance. She is trying very hard and has every right to take down the Democrat Party. if she has veered too far left. So here he's basically endorsing her. You talk about endorsements. He said, hey,
in his own way,
if they're going to take back the House, make her the Speaker.
She's the gift that keeps on giving, and this comes on the primary election in Ohio's 12, where the candidate there, Danny O'Connor, like many candidates, said, I don't want Nancy Pelosi for Speaker. He's one of a few candidates